welcome. Thanks so much for joining me today. Thanks for those joining live. My name's Jenny, just subbing for Kim. She'll be back next week. This is a deep power class. So we will be working through a flow, but we'll kind of build our way up to it. So we'll work through the flow, hold the poses a little bit longer, get a little deeper into those poses, and then kind of wrap up with a nice little flow through what we've walked through at the beginning. If you like to practice with any props, I've got my handy block, which I always like to use in various ways, which I can show as we move through our practice. So if you want to grab any blocks or any other props, feel free. And then just start to find yourself in a comfortable seated position. We'll take a little bit of time just to start to connect, to start to breathe. So take a moment to settle in, really connect down to your sits bones, feel that connection down to the ground. Even out through those sits bones so the hips are nice and squared. And then use that connection to lengthen up through the crown of the head, sitting nice and tall, stacking the vertebrae on top of each other. And then find a little softness in the face, relax in the shoulders. You're welcome to close the eyes if that feels good for you. And just start to allow your energy, your awareness to draw inward. Starting to notice your breath. Starting to check in with the body. Noticing any aches or pains, any stiffness, any soreness, holding space for any injuries. Really allowing yourself to meet your physical body exactly as it is today. And then continuing to observe the breath, start to develop a connection to your breath, whether that's just simply observing it in its natural flow. You could also work with a little more controlled breathing. You could work with deep belly breathing, so trying to draw the breath in and out of the nose and directing it all the way down into the belly. So getting the belly involved on the inhale, pressing that belly out to create more space for the lungs to expand. And on the exhale, drawing the belly in towards the spine, helping to press all of that air out. You could also take that connection to the breath a step further by exploring Ujjayi breathing, finding that activation of the muscles in the back of the throat, just bringing in that audible quality to the breath, little sound to connect to, also helping to kick in our parasympathetic nervous system. So continue to connect to the body, to connect to the breath in whatever way feels right for you through that observation of the breath, the deep belly breathing, and or Ujjayi breath. Looking to use the full capacity of our lungs with each breath. The inhale, an opportunity for new life, new creation, new inspiration to come into the body. And each exhale, an opportunity to release, to let go of anything that no longer serves us in the mind or in the body. And as we continue to connect to the breath, we'll start to add some movement in with it. So as it feels right for you, releasing the arms alongside the body. We'll just start nice and simple. On an inhale, send the arms out to the side, start to raise them up towards the sky. And on the exhale, just rotate the palms down, start to bring the arms back down alongside the body. Just a few more like that. Take your time lengthening out through the arms as you raise them up, find length in the side body. Lengthening up through the crown of the head, and exhale, release them down. We'll just explore one more like that. Inhale, reach out, reach up. And exhale, release the arms alongside the body. Beautiful work. Now we'll just start to come forward towards hands and knees. So take your time, however you'd like to get there. If you want to swing the legs around or scooch forward over the ankles, then take time to set this up. find a solid connection to the hands, spreading out through the fingers. Maybe the arms are a little wider, maybe a little narrower than shoulder distance. Pressing into the tops of the feet. As we lengthen through the crown of the head, find engagement in the core, and then just start to move the spine in whichever way feels right for you. So you can move through some traditional cat-cow, working through a little spinal flexion. You could circle through the torso. You could serpentine the torso front and back. Just whatever movements in this tabletop feels right for you, just to start to move through the wrists, the shoulders, the spine, the hips, and the knees. Waking everything up. A few more rounds of breath in this exploration. Then as you feel ready, we'll start to bring a little heat in the body with bear pose. So once again, establish that solid connection to the hands, lengthen through the spine. We're gonna prop the toes this time. Looking to press the ground away so we have a lift in the back of the heart, and then rooting back through the heels, we'll start to hover the knees. So knees stay bent, spine stays lengthening. Engaging in the core, belly drawing in and up, root back through the heels. You start to feel a little heat building up in the body. Maybe the legs start to burn. Awesome work. Now we'll just take 3 rounds coming from our bear pose to plank. So we'll kind of serpentine our spine forward as we straighten through the legs, start to bring the shoulders towards the wrists. And exhale, bend the knees, send it back to bear pose. Awesome work. Building up some heat in the arms. Again, inhale. Kind of come forward to your plank, and exhale, bend the knees, bring it back to bear. Fantastic work. One more. Inhale, come forward through plank. We'll pause here, and we're lowering all the way down to the belly. Take it nice and slow, elbows draw in, lowering all the way down. Point the toes, press into the tops of the feet, elbows draw together. Really pull back through the hands so that the chest can start to come forward and up to cobra. And exhale, lower down. And just 2 more rounds of cobra, waking up through the spine. Inhale, lift the head and chest up and forward. Exhale, down. Last one, press into the feet. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. Beautiful work. We'll just press up through our tabletop so knees stay lowered. And exhale, send the hips back to child's pose. Lengthen through the spine. Breathe into the back side of the body. Release the head down. It's okay if it doesn't touch the ground. You're welcome to stay here, or if it would feel good to take a side stretch, just walking the fingers over towards the right, lengthening out through the left fingertips, finding a side stretch through the left side body. Continue to connect to the breath. And if you're taking that option, walking the hands back towards center, and then fingertips over towards the left, extending through the right fingertips, finding that deep side stretch through the right side body. Fantastic work. Walking the hands back towards center, and we'll meet back up in our first downward dog. So you can come up to hands and knees, prop the toes, find that length in the spine, that connection to the hands. And then with an engaged core, you can come through bear pose and then lift the hips all the way up. Chest comes back towards the thighs, and then feel free to maybe pedal through the feet. You could shake the head. You could explore this first downward dog. Maybe taking a few deep bends in the knees, coming down towards bear pose, and then lengthening through the legs, rooting the heels down, finding some activation in the backs of the legs. About 3 more rounds of breath in this exploration of our first downward dog. Find the breath. And really pressing through the hands, lengthening through the arms, letting the hips be the tip top of your upside down V here, or your pyramid. Rooting down towards the left foot. We'll inhale to start to raise the right leg up. And it doesn't matter if it's coming just a couple inches above the ground or if it's coming higher, but really activate through that leg. Toes either flexed or pointed. Lift from the inner thigh, from the the right quad. Embrace any shaking in the body. One more deep inhale to extend through that leg. On an exhale, we'll just bend the knee, open up through the hip. Hips can start to stack. If you want to take some circles through the knee or open up a little more in our scorpion or 3-legged dog. Just a little exploration here. Then as you feel ready, inhale to square through the hips, re-extend through that right leg. Exhale, shift forward through plank, knee comes towards the nose, and we'll hold here. So we're drawing the knee up, heels kicking in towards the glutes. We're pressing the ground away, so we've got this lift in the back of the heart, engaging in the core. One more deep inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll just step the foot between the hands, starting to find our first low lunge. Take some time here to fill into this, maybe bringing in a block or two to bring the ground closer. Maybe shifting a little forward and back to get a deeper stretch in that left hip flexor. Stay connected to the breath. Lengthening through the spine. On an inhale, send the chest forward, maybe lift the gaze. And then on an exhale, we're going to step the back foot forward. So putting the weight into our right foot. And just stepping the left to meet in a forward fold. We'll take an inhale to a half lift. Hands can come to blocks, shins, thighs, or hips as the spine extends. Finding length in the spine, engagement in the core, gaze towards the ground. One more deep inhale to lengthen. And exhale, release all the way down, forward fold. We'll take a few rounds of breath here. Feel free to bring in any movements, maybe that pedaling through the feet, maybe bending the knees, and then raising the hips, working the hamstrings. You can grab opposite elbows and sway side to side, getting a nice release through the low back, stretch through the backs of the legs, some traction through the spine, and a release for the head, neck, and shoulders. Excellent breathing. Fantastic work. Just one more round of breath in this exploration. Then on your next inhale, we'll once again half lift, extending through the spine. Get a little blood flow back to the brain. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, we're coming into chair pose, so bending the knees, lowering the hips. Arms can be at the hips in goalposts or extending forward. We're lengthening through the spine, engaging in the core. Maybe the knees are just bent a little bit and the chest is more upright, or you could hover the chest, extending out through the fingertips. Awesome work. Legs are engaged, core is there for support. On your next inhale, we'll come up to standing mountain pose, reaching the arms up towards the sky. And exhale, swan dive forward. Come through your half lift and all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, fold it in, plant the hands on the ground, and we're stepping that left foot back again. So right foot forward, left foot back, and we'll lower the back knee down this time. If it feels good to have the hands towards the ground, chest forward, feel free to stay here, or if you want to raise up to our half crescent lunge, hands can come to the knee, hips, goalposts, or they could extend. And if it feels okay, we're working with squared hips, so that right hip shifts back, left hip shifting forward. And then if it feels good, to shift the whole hip girdle forward, just to get a little deeper into that left hamstring or left hip flexor, if that feels okay. Awesome work. When you're ready, we'll take an inhale, reaching the arms forward or up. And exhale, release the hands down. Prop the back toe, lift the back knee. Beautiful work. And then we'll inhale, raising up to a warrior one, so pivoting the back heel down. And exhale, open up, warrior two. We'll take a few rounds of breath here and take some time to really feel into this warrior two. So the front knee is bent, and we've got the knee either in line or behind that front ankle. We don't want it coming past the ankle. Hips are lowering as we lengthen up through the crown of the head, and that back leg is active. Lift through that back thigh, root down towards that back foot, arms extending along horizon. Find your breath. Find your strength in holding this pose. Beautiful work without changing anything in the lower body. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, flip the front palm up. Exhale, reverse your warrior. So that right arm reaches up towards the sky. Left arm can be traveling down the leg, or maybe at the hip, or it could wrap around to that, reaching for that front thigh. Excellent work. Find your breath. On an inhale, we'll come back up through warrior two. We'll start to straighten through that front leg. We're coming into triangle, so if your stance feels a little wide, feel free to toe heel that back foot in. Now we'll start by scooping out through the hip. So the hip should kind of shift towards the back. Arms stay extended, spine is extended, and then we're leaning forward as far as we can go without changing anything in the body. Just start to tilt the arms. That right hand can come down to the shin, to a block, or towards the ground. Left arm reaching up towards the sky as we open up through that chest. If it doesn't feel good to have the arm reaching up, it can come to the hip, but we want to really find that broadening across the chest. Check in with your front leg. If your knee is starting to get sore, or if you're locking out in that knee, find a little softness there to protect the knee joint. Excellent work. On your next inhale, keeping the legs as they are, we're going to scoop the arms up, reverse our triangle. So front leg is straight. As we reach up, find opening through that whole front side of the body. Beautiful work. We'll take another deep inhale here. On the exhale, we're cartwheeling the hands down to a twisted lunge. So that left hand is going to find the ground as we square the hips forward. Right hand can either come to the knee or extend as we twist into our spine. You're always welcome to lower that back knee down. Excellent work. One more deep inhale in the twist. Exhale to untwist, plant both hands, and we'll draw that right foot back through plank. We'll meet in a downward dog. So if you want to work through a chaturanga, you can work through push-up. You come all the way to the belly or hover. Inhale up to cobra or upward dog. And exhale, making your way back to downward dog. You could come through tabletop, bear pose, and then downward dog. So whenever I cue those chaturanga flows, know that you have options. You can choose your own adventure back to downward dog. Take a few rounds to connect to down dog. And we'll repeat that on the other side. Fantastic work, finding that solid connection to the hands as you press the ground away, lengthening through the spine. lifting through the sits bones, grounding through the feet. And then as you feel ready, rooting down towards the right heel, inhale to start to lift that left leg up. Again, doesn't matter how high it's coming, just keep it nice and active. Pointing or flexing through the toes, engaging in the inner thigh, lifting from the glute. Fantastic. Embrace any shaking in the body. Inhale to lengthen through the left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, heel towards glute, then lift the knee towards the ceiling, finding an opening in the hips. Take a few rounds of exploration here. Maybe circling through the knee, maybe kicking out through the leg, whatever feels good here. And in our scorpion pose, we do want to try to keep the shoulders pretty squared. So notice if you're dipping into that right shoulder. Awesome work. On your next inhale, square through the hips, re-extend through that left leg. And exhale, come forward through plank, knee towards nose. Hover here. You are welcome to lower that left foot down for support or kick that heel in towards the glute. Lift the knee up, press the ground away. So finding that core engagement, breathing into this. Awesome work. Deep inhale here, and exhale, we'll step the foot between the hands. Take the time here to feel into this deep, low lunge. Again, you can bring blocks in to bring the ground closer, maybe shifting a little forward and back to get a little more opening in the hips, a little more sensation in that right hip flexor. And as you feel ready, on an inhale, lengthen through the spine, gaze lifts, heart shines forward. And then we'll shift the weight into our front foot, starting to kick that back foot in, coming towards a forward fold. Inhale, half lift here. Lengthening through the spine, we'll take a few rounds of breath, find that hovering of the chest. Hands could be on blocks or legs for support, or maybe they fly out into a T for a little extra challenge here. Find whatever level feels right for you as you lengthen through the spine, engage in the core. Deep inhale here, and exhale, release it down. Forward fold. Take a few rounds here, maybe pedaling through the feet, shimmying through the hips. Good. Sway side to side. You bend the knees deep and then lift through the hips. Awesome work. Maybe noticing any difference in this forward fold than the one we did last round. Noticing the body, noticing the breath. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale to a half lift. Once again, little blood flow back to the brain, just one round of breath. And on your next exhale, release it down. Inhale to your chair pose, bend the knees, hips lower, chest raises, and hands can be doing whatever feels right. The depth of the bend in the knees is up to you. If there's a little back bend in the back, if that feels good, having the chest raised. If you want to play in your chair or settle into stillness, really strengthening those legs, lengthening back through the tailbone, engaging all the muscles along the spine. Beautiful work. We'll come out on our next inhale, reaching up towards our standing mountain pose. Arms reach towards the sky. And exhale, dive it forward. All the way down to your forward fold. Inhale, finding your half lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, fold it in, plant the hands, and stepping that right foot back. Lowering that back knee down. Awesome work. So we're once again in a low lunge, opening up through the hips. You're welcome to keep it in a low lunge, keeping the hands towards the ground or on blocks. Or inhale, raise up to a variation of a low lunge with that back knee down. Hands at the knees, hips, goalposts, extending, whatever feels right here. Again, we're working with those squared hips, so left hip drawing back, right hip shifting forward. And then if you want more, shifting the whole hip girdle forward to get more opening in the hip and length in that hip flexor. Excellent work. Take a nice deep inhale, arms reaching forward or up. And exhale, release the hands down. Prop the back toes, lift the back knee. When you're ready, we'll pivot the back heel down. And then inhale, raise up, warrior one. And then we'll just exhale to open up to warrior two. Fantastic. So take some time in our second warrior two. Find what feels good here, keeping that front knee bent. Active in that back leg. So we're lifting that back inner thigh. Shoulders in line with hips, so we have that nice straight spine. Core is engaged, arms extending. And breathe into this. Find the power in holding poses. Keeping the knees bent, keeping the bottom legs as they are. Inhale to lengthen, turn the front palm up. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Opening up through that front side of the body. Finding whatever placement for that right hand feels right for you as the left hand reaches up towards the sky, or you could even cradle the head for a little extra support there. Awesome work. Another deep inhale here. On the exhale, we'll just cartwheel the hands back to warrior two. Then we're going to start to straighten through that front leg, setting up our triangle. So if you need to bring that back foot in a little bit, feel free. So legs are straight as we start to scoop out through the hip. Spine is nice and extended, arms extended. And then lean forward. And then not change the body, just tilt the arms down. So that left hand can find the ground, the block, the shin. And we want to have that opening across the chest. So we've got the right shoulder blade wrapping onto the back, opening up through the chest. That right arm can reach up towards the sky, or it could rest on the hip. Connect to your breath. Notice where your energy goes. Awesome work. When you're ready, on your next inhale, we'll take reverse triangle, so leaving the legs as they are, scooping the arm, left arm up. Just finding an opening through that whole front side body. Beautiful work. We'll take a nice deep inhale here. On the exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands all the way down, windmilling the arms into our twisted lunge. So right hand finds the ground. We're in our low lunge. The right hand could also come to a block. Back knee is lifted or lowered, and we find our twist. Left hand can come to the knee, or it could reach up towards the sky. Fantastic work. One more deep inhale to lengthen. Exhale on twist. Release the hands down. Prop the back toe, or if the back knee is lowered, raise that back leg, and then we'll draw the foot back, coming through plank pose. And we've got our choose our own adventure to downward dog. So you can skip it and just come to downward dog. You can work through your vinyasa, however that looks for you. I'll do a nice modified version, coming through tabletop. And meeting in downward dog. Fantastic work. If you want to take a rest in downward dog, feel free, or lower down to the knees and take a few rounds in a child's pose. We'll work through that same flow, but just at a little quicker pace. Excellent work. So as you feel ready, we'll start to meet up in a downward dog if you're not already there. Excuse me. All right. From downward dog, we'll take an inhale to extend the right leg forward, up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, stack the hips, scorpion pose. One deep inhale here. Nice deep exhale. Inhale, re-extend through the legs, square through the hips. Exhale, shift forward, knee towards nose, but then step the foot between the hands. Excellent work. Inhale to lift the chest, send the heart forward. Exhale, step that back foot in. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold it in, forward fold. Inhale, lower the hips, raise up to your chair pose. And a nice exhale here. Settle it. Inhale, extend up, standing mountain pose. And exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold it in, place the hands on the ground, step the left foot back, lower back knee down. Inhale, raise up, crescent lunge, however you'd like. Exhale, lower the hands down. Prop the back toes, lift the back knee, and then pivot the back heel down. Inhale, raise up, warrior one. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Beautiful work. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, come forward through triangle. So straightening through the front leg. And down through your triangle. Awesome work. Inhale, reverse your triangle. And exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down, landing in our twisted lunge. Beautiful. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, untwist, plant the hand, pull the foot back through plank pose. And then work your way through your chaturanga, however that looks, meeting up in our downward dog. Awesome work. Then we'll work through that on the other side. As you feel ready, inhale, raise that left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open through the hips. One deep round of breath here. Inhale to square through the hips, lengthen through the leg. Exhale, knee towards nose as you shift forward, and then step the foot between the hands. Inhale, send the gaze, send the heart forward. And exhale, step the back foot in, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthening up. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, raise up, chair pose. Knees bend, hips shift back, arms reach up. Exhale, settle in. Inhale, lengthen up, standing mountain pose. And exhale, dive all the way forward, forward fold. Excellent breathing. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in, plant the hand, step the right foot back, and lower the back knee down. Inhale, raise up to your low crescent lunge. And exhale, lower the hands back down. Prop the back toes, lift the back knee, plant the back foot at an angle. When you're ready, inhale, raise up, warrior one. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, straighten through the front leg, come forward through triangle. Beautiful work. Inhale, reverse triangle. And exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down to our twisted lunge. Move at your own pace. Take your time. Deep inhale here. Exhale, on twist. Plant the hand, draw the foot back through plank, and work your way through your own journey to downward dog. Fantastic work. And we'll just repeat that. As you feel ready, inhale, raise that right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open up. Inhale, re-extend through the legs, square through the hips. Exhale, knee towards nose, step the foot between the hands. Inhale, send the chest and gaze forward. And exhale, step the back foot in, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to chair, lower the hips, arms reach up. Exhale, settle into chair. Inhale, extended mountain pose, coming through, reaching up. And exhale, dive up forward. Inhale, half lift, find that length through the spine. Exhale, fold it in, plant the hands, step the left foot back, lower the back knee down. Inhale, raise up, crescent lunge. And exhale, lower down. Plant the back toes, lift the back knee, pivot the heel down, set up your foundation. Inhale, raise up, warrior one. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Beautiful work. Exhale, come forward through triangle. Inhale to reverse your triangle, legs stay as they are. And exhale, we cartwheel all the way down into our twisted lunge. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to untwist, planting the hand, draw the foot back through plank, and then work your way through whatever vinyasa you'd like to meet up in our downward dog. One round of breath in down dog before we take it to the other side. Next, inhale, raise that left leg forward, up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, open up to scorpion. Inhale, re-extend, square through the hips. Exhale, knee towards nose, step the foot between the hands. Inhale, send the chest forward, raise the gaze up. And exhale, step the back foot up, come to forward fold. Inhale, find that half lift. And exhale, fold it in. Inhale, raise up to chair. And exhale, settle. Inhale, extended mountain pose, reaching up towards the sky. And exhale, dive up forward. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthening up. Exhale, fold it in, plant the hands, step the right foot back. Lower back knee down. Inhale, raise up, crescent lunge. And exhale, lower down. Hands come to the ground. Plant the back toes, lift the back knee, plant the foot, set up your foundation. Inhale, raise up, warrior one. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, keeping the legs as they are. And exhale, come all the way forward to triangle, straightening through that front leg. Keeping legs as they are. Inhale, reverse your triangle. And exhale, cartwheel all the way down to your twisted lunge. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, on twist, plant the hand, come back through plank, and meet in downward dog, however you'd like to get there. Fantastic work. A few free rounds of breath here. And as you feel ready, nice and slow from downward dog, we'll bend the knees, coming through our bear pose, rooting back through the heels, lengthening through the spine, pressing through the hands, slowly letting the knees come all the way to the ground. Untuck through the toes, your choice if you want to send the hips back into a regular child's pose or take the knees out wide, big toes to touch for wide leg child's pose. Excellent work. Allow the head to drop. It's okay if it doesn't touch the ground. Breathing into the back side of the body. Feel free to let a sigh out of the mouth and just feel. Checking in again with the body, noticing any differences from the beginning of class to now. Continuing to check in so that we are continuing to meet our body where it is as it shifts and moves and adjusts and opens. Excellent work. As you feel ready, we'll just come back up through tabletop. If the knees are wide, bring them back underneath the hips, and just like we did at the beginning, just start to find some movement here. Maybe working through some cat-cow, circling through the torso, anything else that would feel good here. Some free flow movements here. Listening to your body, finding what feels good. And as you feel ready, we'll get off the knees and just come into a seat. Do a little core work. So have some space back behind you to lie back. So maybe sitting in about the center of the mat. We're just going to play with boat here. So we want to remember to keep a nice V shape with the body, nice lift through the spine, a lift through the heart, so we're extending through the spine. Core is engaged. So with the knees drawing in towards the chest, you could come up just onto the toes or onto the heels. This is a nice way to start to build up some strength in boat. If you want, maybe you start to raise one foot at a time, maybe both legs raise. Hands could be behind the knees or they could extend. So when you're ready, find whatever variation of boat works best for you. With a little support, maybe one at a time, hands lift or hands supporting or hands extending. And then continue to lift through the heart. Imagine there's a string pulling your heart up towards the sky so that we're not rounding back, we're not falling back. We're lifted and extended. Fantastic. Now we'll take this a step further if you want it. This will be a little more activity, a little more activation. Just holding this boat pose is definitely a challenge, so you're welcome to stay here. Or if you'd like, we're gonna open up into a low boat. So extending through the legs, extending through the upper body so the low back can come to the ground. We're gonna bring the hands back behind us. Even just staying here is a lot. Or if you want a little bit more, we'll inhale to raise up, bring the right knee in and twist. and then lower back down. And switch it out. Raise up, left knee comes up and twist, and exhale, lower down. Whew, that's a challenge. Let's try that a few more times if you'd like. Inhale up, right knee bends, find that twist, and exhale, lower. Inhale up, left knee twists, and exhale, lower. Whew. Awesome work. If you're in low boat, just hold for one more round of breath, and then we'll lower all the way down. Awesome work. Fill in that one. All right, if it would feel good, plant the feet a little wider than hip distance. Take some windshield wipers. And then coming back to neutral, lengthening down through the tailbone, you start to draw the knees in towards the chest. They don't have to come very far, but just enough to be able to get a little lift in the tailbone so that we're lengthening through the low back. It's getting a nice release there. And from here, bringing the hands to the knees, flexing the toes back, and then using the hands to guide the knees open, coming into a reclined frog pose. You can stay here or maybe reaching down for the feet as they come up towards the sky, coming into a happy baby. So, a few options to explore in your hip openers. In your happy baby, if you want to extend out through the legs or rock side to side. Excellent work. When you're ready, releasing the feet towards the ground. We'll bring, the knees bent, walking the heels in towards the glutes, starting to set up for a bridge pose. So take time to find connection here. Press down into the feet, lift up through the toes, spread out through the toes, and then set them down. The shin bones are shifting forward. And then we'll bring a lift in the chest so that we're kind of exaggerating that curvature of the spine, and tuck the shoulder blades underneath. So we're already in an arch here. So the shoulders and the hips are on the ground, but the mid-back is arching up off the ground. With that activation through the feet, engaging in the core, on an inhale, slowly start to lift the hips up towards the sky, coming into bridge pose. If you want a supported bridge, you could slide a block or cushion or something underneath. You could also interlace the hands underneath the low back, maybe even tucking the shoulders a little bit more. Finding whatever level works best for you here. There's a tendency here to squeeze the glutes together. That's the biggest muscle group working here, so they want to take over. Notice what would happen if you start to disengage through the glutes and let some of the smaller muscles start to engage. If that causes any compression or any pain in the low back, keep those glutes activated. And just kind of an exploration. And if you do want a little more challenge here, you're welcome to stay in our bridge pose. If you want a little more, we'll start to lift the right foot up towards the sky on an inhale, and then lowering that heel down with the extended on the exhale, leg extended. Inhale, raising your right leg back up, and exhale, bend the knee, plant the foot on the ground. And we'll switch it out if you'd like. Inhale, extending left leg up towards the sky, flex the heel or toes back. Exhale, lower extended leg down just as far as feels okay. Inhale, raise that leg back up. And exhale, bend the knee, plant the foot. We'll just take one more round if you want it. Inhale, extending right leg up, flex through the toes. Exhale, lower the extended leg down. Inhale, raise that leg back up. Exhale, bend the knee, plant the foot. Last one on the left side if you want it. Inhale, extend left leg up, flex toes back. Exhale, lower that extended leg down. Inhale, raise that leg back up. And exhale, place the foot on the ground. Fantastic work. When you're ready to come out, if the hands are interlaced, unlace the hands, untuck through the shoulders. And nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time, lower down. Oh, awesome work. Take a moment in this nice neutral pose with the spine, maybe some windshield wiper side to side would feel good again. And then after a few rounds of breath with the neutral spine, then we can bring in the counter stretch. Once again, drawing those knees in towards the chest, lengthening through the tailbone, and maybe a little rocking side to side. And we'll just take this into a twist. So with the knees in towards the chest, we'll simply just drop the knees over towards the right. However, if there is a different variation of a twist that would feel awesome for you, feel free to explore that. Knowing that we don't need to twist very deep to get the benefits here. We still want to have that opening across the chest. So inviting that left shoulder towards the ground. It definitely doesn't need to touch. Arms could be extended into a T or into goalposts. Or if it feels better, they could be resting on the body. Find your breath here in this twist. And if you notice that the breath is forced or stagnant or feels like it can't quite get where it wants to go, then that's a good sign that you've gone a little too deep into your twist. Three more rounds of breath here. Whenever you feel ready, drawing the knees back up towards center, slowly untwisting. Feel free to take any movements between sides. And then setting up your twist on the left side, if you took it with knees drawing in towards the chest. On the right side, then try that again on the left, unless you know that that's not going to work for your body. We work both sides to bring balance, but we don't want to treat both sides the same. We have asymmetries, imbalances in the body for a multitude of reasons. So we want to get to know those differences and get to know how to work with them. That's why that continuing to check in with the body is so important, because it's continuing to shift, continuing to move. Couple more rounds of breath on this side. And whenever you feel ready, just gently starting to make your way out of your twist. And feel free to take any movements, anything to help unwind from your twist. And then we'll take a few rounds of breath in a reclined cobbler's pose. So as you feel ready, bringing the bottoms of the feet to touch, Now you're just flat on the back, opening up through the knees. Hands, again, can be in goalposts, into a T. They could be resting on the belly. They could even cross over the body and grab opposite elbows, biceps, or shoulders. If you have very tight hips and it feels a little intense to just have gravity opening up through the hips, feel free to slide blocks underneath those knees for support. And if you are hypermobile and the knees just drop right open, you're not feeling much sensation here, then you don't need to really work on the stretch. I would suggest working on building stability and strength around the joints. So in this pose, if you're not feeling much in the hips, then try to hover the knees a couple inches off the ground, pressing the feet together. This will be more activating and engaging, but that's going to be more beneficial for the hypermobile people to bring in support for those hips. Allow yourself to settle into this. We'll take about 5 to 7 rounds of breath here. About a minute we'll be here. Staying connected to the breath, connected to the body. A little more challenging as we slow things down. And we'll start to make a transition towards our Shavasana, or our final relaxation. If this pose is feeling awesome, feel free to stay here. If you want to move and take any final movements before you settle in, nice way to support the hips coming out of this is bringing the hands to the outer thighs to press the knees together. So feel free to use these last few minutes to explore any final movements, anything to help round out your practice, and then allowing yourself to settle into your Shavasana, to your final relaxation, whatever that looks like for you. And as you're setting up your final relaxation, whenever that is, take your time. Know that you've got options. If it doesn't feel good to lie on the back in traditional corpse pose, you can lie on the side, lie on the belly. You could even come up to a seated meditation. But once you start to settle into your pose, try to allow yourself to surrender. Dropping any control over the breath, allowing it to find its natural flow. Releasing the body, allowing it to be held and supported in this space. Allowing the mind to settle into the peace of the present moment. And if there is no peace of mind to be found, then just simply observing the chaos, observing the thoughts, the emotions without attaching. You begin to feel ready. Slowly start to bring some movement back into your body. For those at home, if you do have more time to dedicate to your Shavasana, please give yourself that gift. And when you're ready to come out after your little movement in the body, if you're not already there, just gently roll onto one side of the body, taking a pause in a nurturing pose. And as you feel ready, gently start to make your way back up to a comfortable seat. Invite you to bring the hands to heart center or take any other meaningful gesture with the hands. And just take a moment here to offer yourself some gratitude for carving out this time, for stepping on your mat, for your willingness to trust yourself, to trust me, to trust your practice. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your day today. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I see you, I honor you, and I bow to you. Namaste.